understanding of the language is the base for any human interaction. You know, as a techie, we used to. I mean, we're still doing programming to talk to the computer.
Yep.
But more and more, it is going to become the language itself that will drive everything that computer does.
Andre Karpathy said that the best coding language is English.
100%. And Jensen, the CEO of NVIDIA, I think a couple of days ago, said maybe programming is not going to be one of the major skills in future, and maybe it's not going to be relevant in 10, 15 years anymore, because what if you can say whatever you want the computer to do in your own language?
You need to follow Genai works, right? So
yeah, I can understand that one of the reasons that a lot of people are scared is just because too much, and too complex and coming from everywhere. It's just I mean, what should I do now? And that's why probably one of the reasons that our project got that successful that quickly, because we were distilling and curating and giving people a little bit of, more of expert reviewed advice.
All right. So, tell us a little bit more about the things that you're up to. So we got the background and the history, but you said that there's 3 focus areas that really keep you busy these days. What's one of the first ones?
Yeah, I mean, this is a time for AI, so I've been busy with 3 major things, as I said, 3. The first one is the business as usual. I just go around the world, talk to people, communities, innovators, the builders, and that's just an absolute privilege to be able to see things as it's happening.
Yeah.
I was lucky to be able to meet some of these CEOs of Fortune 500, specifically my meeting with Ali Ghodsi, the CEO of Databricks, was awesome because
was that at CES?
It was at Databricks Summit last year.
Oh, okay, amazing.
It was in San Francisco, where he announced that Databricks is doubling down on generative AI. They acquired Mosaic ML for $1 billion, which was a
billion with a B.
Price.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I was very, very excited to hear more about the perception and the view of the future. And so that was very interesting. But then I do this all the time. I traveled to around 20 countries last year.
Almost like Sam Altman. My goodness.
I mean, it's probably very, very exhausting. I would imagine he would have the same experience. But at the same time, this is something that will allow you to understand the latest trends. Then I can leverage it to do the projects that I'm delivering. The second one, which I'm very excited and I'm very bullish, which I believe this is the right podcast to say so.
Absolutely.
It's the company's Genai Works.
See the link below.
It's the website that you can find our library and directory of AI projects, products, and also our newsletter and many other interesting, cool stuff if you're into AI. But then it was built on the back of the success we got from our LinkedIn page. You might have heard about it, generative AI. Last week, we just hit 3 million followers.
3 million.
3 million followers.
Wow.
And
that's crazy.
That was just absolutely crazy. We couldn't believe that. And, we received a message that we've been the fastest growing LinkedIn page in the history of LinkedIn.
From LinkedIn?
From LinkedIn.
They sent you that message?
Yeah. One of the product managers.
That is
It's like
crazy.
Within a year, we just hit 3 million followers. And
because it's only a new page. Like, when did you start the Genai?
It was around December 2022.
Oh, so just
I was
after
in a I was in a trip in Europe when the ChatGPT craze and all this stuff happened, and it just like I cut it short. I came back, and then put the team together, and we started this.
Did you think that I have to do something about it now? Like,
so I felt like the information explosion is happening, and then there's a need for more authorities, more sort of curated information to be shared, and that was the place that people who have some understanding and expertise and background need to step in. So I was like, okay, maybe I can help somehow.
Amazing.
And so that was the beginning, and we are sort of on the same level of growth right now with Google, Amazon, Microsoft, and OpenAI.
Yeah, people have heard of those companies, I'm sure.
I'm sure. I mean, I couldn't believe that we are sort of on the same level, and we kind of in the last 90 days we beat all of the Fortune 500 companies in the growth rate.
That is crazy. And I'm sure that there's people that are, just getting into the space, because all these other companies, they've been around a while, and, they're synonymous with other, like 100%. Whether it's search or whatnot. But people are just starting to open their eyes up to this whole world of AI. And we've got this company is it started out of Australia? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is started in Australia, but now we have also branches. We kind of established the main branch right now in San Francisco.
Okay, great.
But still we are also based in Australia, San Francisco, and Middle East. A couple of, smaller branches. We have a small team that are collaborating remotely from a couple of different locations.
Amazing. Well, you don't need, if you're using these AI tools, as I'm sure you guys are, you get to, be able to run very lean and stuff. So what do people get in there? Like, it sounds like it's a bit of a meaty company, kind of like a TechCrunch.
We are kind of like, as you said, like TechCrunch, but like we started very lean.
Okay.
Just literally curating the content, the tools, the latest trends, and teaching people how to use it. What are the best options that they can get? So a lot of people were asking. It was on the feedback, on the back of the feedback we were getting. It's like, okay, now we just received like 200 messages from different companies that are all doing similar things. What should we do?
Right.
And all right, I'll tell you what are the top ones, and I will do a little bit of comparison.
Okay.
And it started sort of grow from there based on the curated content and then collaborations that we had with other companies, and bringing some other collaborators to help us to write commentaries. And then our newsletter started, and now we have a daily newsletter on Beehive.
Okay.
We just
fantastic Beehive.
Launched it a couple of days ago.
Oh, well, very fresh.
It was like maybe 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Very
good.
This is daily, so you would have like maybe around 20 already, and we just launched the Instagram page.
Oh, nice. Okay.
As well.
We'll link that.
We're looking forward to launch the YouTube page and the podcast.
Okay, great.
So these are coming up.
Wow.
So yeah, something sort of like TechCrunch, and having the agility at the same time and the focus on the AI would be the idea. But at the same time, we also have our page, which is like the website. We have all the libraries in there.
Pause.
Yep.
All right. So, apart from that little disturbance, you were telling me more about the Genai works. And stuff.
I mean, like we are looking forward to build the media and sort of the other offerings, and also a product which is still in a being brewed.
Okay.
I cannot give you a lot more information on that.
Watch this space.
Watch this space.
Well, they got to subscribe to the newsletter.
Yeah,
right?
If you subscribe to the newsletter, you're going to hear about it firsthand.
Okay.
The moment that it's available. But
Very
we
good.
are building a product that will be available soon. I guess the third one, the last one, is the non-for-profit volunteer work that I'm doing that I'm the most passionate about. I know, like, all of them are my passions. I guess, like, I like.
But this is your favorite child.
Whatever I do, but this is my favorite. Yes, because I'm connected to the public, and we are helping the community. So I'm working as a chair of the Responsible AI Initiative at ACM, Association of Computing Machinery, and we just joined forces with the Commonwealth.
Wow.
To deliver this initiative for the Commonwealth countries as well.
Amazing. We see that kind of stuff in the blockchain space with like Loretta Joseph and IDAXA, so it's great to see AI as well. You guys
100%.
Doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's a need for the community to understand about the possibilities and the good side of AI, and also the risks. So we are going to have a more balanced approach, make sure that everybody aware how to leverage AI and how to use the benefits, because we don't want anyone to be left out. And specifically, our focus is on, the underrepresented groups and marginalized communities in every country.
Very good.
There's always groups that need more help.
Yep.
And we are there for them. We would like them to feel safe and secure to speak out, to be part of the initiative, and join our events. In these events, we will share information and give them more awareness, and also we'll bring the stakeholders and decision makers to answer the questions, how they are leveraging AI, what are the things that can go wrong. And if there's something that is identified by the community, we would definitely hold people accountable to, to respond.
That's such a... I love the community-driven way of doing things that you mentioned there, and we like that in the Web3 space. It's why we're doing what we're doing. But, coming from, for us, data science backgrounds, and then getting into blockchain, then coming back into data science with the whole AI boom again, that lens of how do we do things, not just like open source, but in a connective kind of way, because if we're just doing it dog eat dog world and we're trying to climb over each other, it doesn't help this nascent space, this emerging technology and stuff. So I love that you're bringing that community angle to it, and that you're bringing the people in that are ultimately there that will potentially make decisions, but hopefully they'll make informed decisions because they're part of this community.
100%. I think these sort of discussions would help all the different key players in the society, from the users, the makers, and the government and public sector, to be closer to each other. This AI is a very powerful tool, and I'm sure that we will talk about it later, but things can go wrong.
Yeah.
And we just want to make sure that we stay together and we stay ahead of it, or at least as long as we hold hands and we understand each other and we support, that would be the least we can do to mitigate the risks.
Absolutely, and we'll talk about those the highs, the lows next. Let's get into the good and the bad. You've kind of alluded to it a little bit in what you said before about the things that you're up to, but what are some of the, let's start with the bad. Like, what are the things that, people, from a person that really knows this space, and this is not, and I've seen this, people that say bad things, but they don't really know, they're not practitioners, they're not, and you don't have to be, have studied AI, you can just be a user to be known as like you actually know how things work there. But what are some of the bads from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, it might look cliche, but like with every tool, with every powerful tool, there would be always bad actors leveraging it for a wrong cause or wrong reason, or for their own personal benefits. And these things can go wrong, that's just the obvious one. It's
there's humans behind it, so
there's always human aspect, and not everyone is driven by moral compass, right? That's the reality.
Some come in without no compass, so
thank you.
No worries.
But that's the reality with every tool. AI being that powerful tool that we are seeing right now, with all the super realistic images that we are generating, the videos are getting better. The text generated by ChatGPT is getting super crazy good.
Yeah.
It's it's not only generating something that's looking good, it also has deep understanding of humanity through the text, through all the information that was used to, to train these models. So from one perspective, this is becoming very powerful.
Yeah. Yep.
And then imagine something very powerful going, if it goes wrong, it goes very wrong. So that's one of the, I guess, major one. But what are the ways that it can go wrong? Like, they can give you some suggestion here. Like,
Sure.
for example, just as a sort of easy use case, generating content, right? So you can have deep fakes going too wrong because it's just super realistic.
Yeah.
Many images that I'm seeing, I have hard time to tell if it is real or not. Like, literally putting side by side a real photo, there's a chance that I go, this real photo is not real.
And we've only just started on that. It's like, how much better is it going to look?
100%. Yeah, that's images and videos are sort of a baby right now. They are going to grow, and Sora just sort of came up with their own model. It is OpenAI came up with the model, which is Sora. It's just super realistic. It's good, but it's still beginning.
Yeah.
So that can be very important and very scary at the same time, to share misinformation. And the problem with social media, so we have another thing that will amplify that. So we have a microphone, which is social media.
Yeah,
and
we do.
have the content generation, which is the sort of the generative AI model. So we can generate these fake and sort of propaganda or wrong information, and it will be shared by the public to masses, and it just goes crazy viral. And by the time that you want to clarify things, it might be too late in many cases.
Yeah,
Like, just think about like COVID or like anything that can affect people's health. There might be wrong information about these particular topics that can be sensitive, and also politics.
Absolutely.
U.S. election coming up now, and imagine like there would be a lot of videos generated that are not real, and it will be shared and they
People
go
won't know.
viral, and people would not know. And there's always a higher chance for negativity to get more virality. That's amplified by the algorithms, and maybe AI is also part of that.
It's ironic because your personal LinkedIn page, which I've been a follower of, we've been connected for a few years now, but your page shares a lot of great, powerful, useful content. And typically in the world, we know that if it bleeds, it leads. Like, whether it's negative news stories, negative health stories, negative whatever about a technology, that's the stuff that gets out there. But you've really bucked the trend because you're sharing like valuable insights, sometimes inspirational, a lot of the times technical, and like, hey, watch out for this kind of thing, and a lot of interactions there. I feel like you haven't gone down that path of the negative news side of things, or hey, watch out, folks, this is a scary thing, because that's what so many others are doing to get to those kind of growth levels.
Yeah, but like, just on that note, like, I've been sharing for 7-8 years, and a lot of people started doing it last month, and they want to get there within a month.
They want their 3 million.
They wanted 3 million in a month.
Yeah.
So what they do, they just leverage that sort of strategies. You're just like, how can I share something that's not confirmed? So for example, I think, was it about ChatGPT 5 or something like that?
Yeah.
Just somebody just leaked it, and then it was unleaked. So it was totally a fake thing, and doesn't matter. The person went viral and got probably a couple of thousand followers, or maybe 100,000 followers, and maybe even sold some product on the back of that. So that's the way that unfortunately is being leveraged. So a lot of us right now don't want to be patient to actually get there. When somebody tells you that in 8 years you might be successful, you would say, how can I do it in 2 days?
Yeah.
Like,
it's like investing. The compound interest thing is just like a slow and steady, and that's where most people have been successful. But you get a lot of, I don't think there's anything wrong with it if you're happy to lose that money, but day traders thinking that they'll get to that kind of level instantly, it's so much harder, let alone it's hard enough waiting over time because it's still a roll of the dice, but you've got a bit more of a guarantee, but trying to do it in such a short time, it is absolutely nuts that people think that way, you know?
Yeah, if you go to financial advisor, they never tell you that like, go to a casino and buy, you know, or pay something for gambling because there's a chance to get billionaire. Yeah. There's always like, okay, in 10 years, you're going to save, you're going to do this, and that's the financial advice. I think that's something that on social media, it is kind of being forgotten. Many people do take strategies that are cheap shots and trying to just cut it short. But that's one of the ways that AI can go wrong because so what happens is we can generate those kind of content that goes viral, and it will not be caught. And then the AI algorithm will actually amplify them through social media. So it's just double AI going negative way together.
We're spiraling down, which is crazy. AI just continues to feed on itself. So what do you think, you know, happens from there? Like, I mean, that's a possibility is what we're saying, right?
I mean, like we need to be aware and be ready, because the problem is when powerful tools go wrong, the effect is just huge, and we might not be ready for that kind of effect. So that's why awareness needs to be there. Regulation needs to come to help.
Well, the thing that you mentioned there as well, I think tech can maybe help. Like the AI can be a force for good to help police itself, but also the other tech that, you know, we're in and what this podcast is about is on the blockchain side of things. So I don't know the exact solution yet. I know people are experimenting with it about being able to audit, trace AI and GPT model inputs and outputs and where they use and attribute micro payments through blockchain as well. But even on the identity side of things, so for the deep fakes, if it's a presidential kind of thing, you cannot trust this thing unless it's coming from the presidential account. And the only way that can have that account is, I don't know, maybe there's a blockchain element to certain people's digital IDs and stuff. So I think we'll find some solutions and stuff there, but yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Like there are some ways to trace it back, to identify the source. And I think even right now, we are in zero trust sort of an environment where we cannot trust anything digital anymore.
Yeah.
It used to be like I have a footage of something would be like that's proof. Pretty proof, decent proof. But now it's just like, you know, there used to be there's a photo of something.
Photographic evidence,
there's a Photoshop, and then there's a video, and now there's like video is also deep fake, and the voice is cloned very, very easily, very good quality voices of anyone in the world, just leveraging a couple of minutes of their footage. And they can take it from your social media. Like you can you're chatting with your friend or you're shooting a TikTok video, that can clone your voice and it can be used against you.
I think we've got a protection though, and maybe it's getting better, and I know this is not going to last for long, but 11 Labs is really good, and I tried 11 Labs very early on to clone my own voice, it's kind of funny because when it came out, and even despite all the tweaks of the settings, it still came out very British. And then apparently, because it's got its reference data, if it doesn't have Aussie voice reference data, it's going to have a hard time. Now it's got that. I tried it again just this week. I still sound quite British. It's better. It sounds like me if I had a bit more of like a Londoner kind of accent.
Yeah.
But it's not far. So I was just, so Australia's potentially protection.
I hear you. And then that's the problem. So the problem is you will have some people around the world that because of the, you know, accent or whatever, they might be protected because of that reason.
Yeah.
But then it's enough to harm, I think, thousands of lives.
That's
pretty big. I think even if they hit London, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
So you cannot just rule it out as a huge threat.
Absolutely.
Although like I can see that right now it cannot be globalized seamlessly.
It's going to come
And it's
soon,
good.
though.
Good that it's not going to be globalized. That
I mean,
quickly.
well, we want to use these tools to sound like us, so that we can do more of like voiceover kind of content, and it's us
Yeah.
because we've had to put in the work to do it, but we don't always have to, because doing things manually, as many people would know, and coming from data space and stuff, it takes more time. You can get to the same result, but it takes you more time. If you can do that in 1/10 of the time, why not, right? Like, I think that's
100%.
what we should be looking at. So the negatives are there to watch out for. What do you think about the positives? And I'm sure many people see it in their world, but I'm curious for you, Steve, like, what are some of the key things that come to mind when you think about the good that AI
Yeah,
has?
100%. Like, I think I'm the sort of half glass full sort of a person that would love to see the positive in humanity,
Yep.
positive in tech, and the future of humanity.
And your glass is actually half full right now, so perfect.
It is the half full. So I'm sort of very optimistic about what's going to happen. I do believe that AI can be leveraged. Apart from all those, we started on it. Things can go wrong,
Yep.
and I like it because then we can end up with a positive note, which
Yep.
is the reality is that. So first of all, I believe that AI is not going to change our destiny. It's just going to make us get there faster.
Okay.
So if you believe that humanity was destined to grow and have prosperity and enjoy, then we're going to get there faster. So, but anyway, right now, lots of different ways that you can leverage AI to help you to live and do your work faster, easier, from just the things that are around us, like content generation, right? If you're a marketeer, you want to generate some ads, it's just right now a lot easier to generate a piece of copy and the image that goes with the copy, right? It's just
Seconds.
in a second, right?
Yeah.
And also, if you want to summarize things
Yep.
like a video or sort of a document, it's just a large document or like a 2-hour keynote on YouTube. It's just much easier and faster, and the result will not lose a lot of key information, which is the actual importance of these tools. So saving times, which is, I guess, it's a currency, human currency, right?
Time is money.
Time
literally.
is money. It's just equivalent to the money.
I never saw time token though in my time, in the blockchain kind of space. Maybe people are tokenizing their time where to get a few minutes with you or whoever that they have to have a token and stuff there. But yeah, what else? What are some of the other positives that you're seeing?
Like apart from the ones that are very obvious.
Yeah.
I've been talking to companies that are leveraging generative AI for some other projects, like in pharmacy, generating actually protein compounds for making some advanced drugs, some personalized drugs. So
Amazing.
I'm collaborating with a company called Incelio Labs. They are based in Singapore, and they are doing actually pretty advanced work tackling some of the bigger challenges. So they're working on drugs that will help, at least maybe in the long term, cure cancer.
Wow.
And
Okay.
these are big deals. They're working on longevity sort of medicine, which is also important, as important, that would allow you to live a healthier life for longer. So that's another major one. In the business world, you will see AI driving some insights to help you do your business better and give you some understanding of what is happening in your own data. It's it used to be available for bigger tech companies where they have a data science team with their PhD degrees, and
that was their GPT model.
Exactly. This is like, you pay them a lot of money to put their time and effort to actually analyze your data, and now you can leverage AI and generative AI to do that. And also, I would say the companionship is another thing that it's a double-edged sword. But for some reasons, it can help people, like maybe even elderlies, to have a better life, communicating with something that will be more...
they're not just alone.
It will be more compassionate. It would give you a little bit of safe and secure feeling. It would actually take care of you. Sometimes with embodied AI, you can have the robot or something that will be able to not only be your companion, but also would do some of the jobs for you. That understanding of the language is the base for any human interaction. You know, as a techie, we're still doing programming to talk to the computer. But more and more, it is going to become the language itself that will drive everything that computer does.
Andrei Karpathy said that the best coding language is English.
100%. And Jensen, the CEO of NVIDIA, I think a couple of days ago, said maybe programming is not going to be one of the major skills in future, and maybe it's not going to be relevant in 10-15 years anymore, because what if you can say whatever you want the computer to do in your own language?
There was a hackathon, and you'll like this, maybe you heard about it, but it was like mid 2023, where the person that won the hackathon was not a coder. She was a project manager, but she knew how to describe the right kind of queries to get the right kind of output in terms of code. And I'm sure she had some back and forth because the GPTs at the time were not one-shot wonders and just giving you the right code, but you've got to be persistent. But she was able to create something from scratch for this hackathon, not being a coder, just being very good at using language. How amazing is that?
That's very impressive.
Right? That's a very... It gives hope to people that they can do and create things. They don't have to... So it's kind of like to the Jensen point. People argue against that, though. I know they would say this, because other than Jensen, there's been other people that have said this kind of thing, that you don't need to code. That the argument back was like, well, you need to understand code, at least like how it works and stuff. But we're just thinking of where we're at now with the technology. In the future, when it is just one shot, hey, make me a Tetris-looking app, but I want my head on the character instead of Pac-Man, and it just goes and does it one shot. We're not far off from having something like that. So we need to rethink how we're doing things, right?
Yeah, 100% agree. I totally agree with that. And I think there's always a need for some niche expertise to do things in a more deeper, complex way. For example, dealing with the future AI maybe in a way that is beyond just the natural language prompt. But it's about the macros. Like right now, we have a lot of programmers all over the world as a major, daily job. It will probably look like different. I mean, it's with a very high probability it will look very different.
That team that you said before, like big companies could afford teams of data scientists, and when that's democratized, I wonder what that looks like. And going back to that point that we made earlier, I'm not sure if it's cut out because we had that second recording, but what does the Amazon or the Salesforce type company, if they were starting from zero, today is reset day zero, and they're in this world of GPTs, how would they build? Would they even build a CRM company, or would they create something completely different? Like, I think companies, whether you're starting off new or like you're established, we need to rethink how we're doing things. Are we going to use, like, what do you think about this? Should we be bringing AI into the way that we do workflows now, or should we rethink at least some of the workflows?
I think a lot of companies are actually rethinking how we do things right now. And I talked to some of them that are so futuristic.
Wow.
To the point that like app is going to die and there's not going to be any app used by
Oh,
human being anymore.
okay.
You just
Okay,
talk
now
to
we're
an
talking.
entity
Yeah.
that has all your data.
It sounds like her.
Yeah, I mean, like there are like gadgets coming, but like it will be more and more integrated
Yeah.
with all the data that you got. Like you want to send an email,
Mm.
what is Gmail for? We just say to that thing to do that for you.
Personal
You want to
assistant.
take it. You want to find an email. Just ask
Yeah.
the assistant. And same way, scheduling and everything. You want to call an Uber. Like, how many apps you got in your phone? I can just give you some. Like maybe 10 of them can be out. If you can talk to your
Yep.
bank, the app is gone. If you
No more lines waiting because it's
Yeah,
it's
no,
not
nothing.
relying on fleshy meat bags, these biodegradable bodies that we're in. We're not relying on that.
Yeah.
It can be everywhere. It can be talking to everyone.
Yeah, 100%.
It's okay.
So yeah, there's like that kind of futuristic conversation.
Yeah.
There's like a middle ground where AI is integrated into the apps that they're using to
Yep.
give you a lot of assistance,
Mhm.
and that's probably the major narrative right now, because there's always the um, you know um, uh, adaptation and the resistance and things that needs to happen in order for people to be open to different UI, UX, and different way of doing things. Even like people between Android and Apple, they just like they
Yeah.
have a preference, and sometimes it's not easy for them to switch. So people are sometimes resistant,
Mm.
and that comes to the factor that how things can be easier with the user experience, that we can accelerate this adoption, and you don't need to watch your screen to work. You can just talk to something, and there's no need for projection. Maybe that can be projected somewhere.
I saw someone on the way over here while I was waiting for you at the tram. There was a guy that was wearing one of those ring thing, or like it was a device, a necklace, but it was clearly one of those ones which I don't remember the providers, and like I guess I'll show the links here. But yeah, like an AI device that's recording. Like some people have the Aura ring. I think there's a ring that does that, but then there's also the necklace thing.
There's
So
an AI pin.
yeah, the pin.
There's
Yeah.
a rabbit.
Yes. Yeah. The rabbit. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't that. I haven't seen the rabbit, even though that was phenomenal sales. Not growth levels like you guys had, but I think like 10,000 a week. So I think they got up to 60,000 the last time I counted.
Wow.
Orders for their device. He sold it well. And even though there's critics of it, I think the point is that we need to rethink how we're doing things, regardless of whether Rabbit fails or not. How we have the form factor and the delivery. To your point, like you can get rid of a whole lot of apps, so you can just talk to an entity type thing. We covered off. I was going to ask you the question, but we're covering off on like what the future is going to be like. But as we wrap up, how do you, what kind of things do you want people to be left with if they're working in a company that wants to break into this space, or if they're looking at how to use AI in their traditional kind of business or even their startup? Like, what kind of thoughts do you have for people that are still very new to what AI kind of has to offer? What do you want to tell them?
Yeah, I mean, what I'm going to say probably is not very controversial, because already we know that the AI is important.
Yep.
And is going to touch every aspect of our life. So if you have not already started leveraging generative AI, understanding how it is revolutionizing, especially the work, you are going to miss out. So there was a research, I think like 3 or 4 months ago, in one of the consultancy firms, where they allowed them to leverage ChatGPT, or let's say generative AI model, and the low performing consultants leveraging generative AI got to beat the top performing consultants. So that tells you you're not safe. Does not matter what you're doing, what is your level of expertise, and how good you are at your work. If you're not going to leverage these awesome tools that are coming out and are available right now, you are going to miss out, and you're going to be outrun by your competitors at any level.
Which is kind of the irony, because people are scared of the change, and yet these tools have been and there's so many lessons for people building apps to adopt how simple some of these things were. Like ChatGPT was just a chat box to begin with, and it was just so easy to log in and use and sign up with your Gmail account. Because it was so easy, it's like they got so many users. So the I get the being afraid. There's always there's the fast followers and the people that come behind that. But you're right. Like, people need to really get into it, and you need to sign up to the newsletter. You need to follow Genai Works, right? So
yeah, I can understand that one of the reasons that a lot of people are scared is just because too many, too much, and too complex and coming from everywhere. It's just I mean, what should I do now? And that's why probably one of the reasons that our project got that successful that quickly, because we were distilling and curating and giving people a little bit of, more of expert reviewed advice.
They're getting value.
That's right. And please do follow. And if you have any feedbacks, would love to hear how we can improve the quality of the content that we are sharing, and what should we do next. And if you're an expert, reach out, join the team.
Well, I was going to say, people should, if they're not already following, we'll put your LinkedIn down below, as well as like the Genai and the other links to the things that you're working on. But the last kind of question as we round out is, what does community kind of mean to you? Whether it's because you've dabbled in the Web3 space, but also in AI and just all things that you're doing, even before all this hype that's come to the market, but it's going to be very valuable. What has community, and what does community mean to you, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, apart from the definition, which is like a group of people shared interest, I would say the collaboration, the empathy, and the support is the major reason that community is important for me, at least.
It's CES right there: collaboration, empathy, support. And we started off the podcast talking about CES. So Steve, well done. Hidden message there, folks. He's clever. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks for having me, Mike.
No worries.
Just because there's something moving here,
maybe
just go to the focus.
It could have been, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. Because it's like, it's okay, it's been
usually
fine.
Working.
But folks don't know that we just recorded the first 15 minutes and it was blurry when I rewatched it and stuff. So thank you for re-recording. But now that we're back,
for wrong reasons by wrong actors, and that
we'll just wait for Sam to just fly across. Sam Altman is just flying across there.
Flying and saying hi.
And we are clear. Another. So we'll continue on that path, spiral. Can you just test again?
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Check, check.